Hello, Mr. JK here. Just a little heads up. I am a 49er fan, and no, I'm not just getting on the bandwagon right now because they're good. All right. I've been a 49er fan since, like, practically since I started getting interested in sports. Um, as Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and them were actually um, still on the team, still in their prime. So recently, I watched the press conference after the Niners really gave it to the Rams. So then they're still undefeated this year. Nice 5-0 thing since 1990. Yeah, all right. Let's go Niners. All right. I, for one, am hoping that they end up going undefeated during the whole season, even though it's a hard hill to climb up. I know they are capable of doing it with the talent they got on the team currently. Richard Sherman. Good job for calling out the haters on the thing. Basically, calling out those people that have been saying that you're just been so and so all these years and you're still so and so and all that stuff. I want you to know that as a true 49er fan, I've been, even through the years that you guys have not done much, I've still been true to the to my colors of being a Niners fan. And I'll still be a Niners fan even after this whole spurt of being good is like in the past, just like it was in the 90s. All right. I knew it was going to be taking some time before the Niners got this good. I knew, being a son of a legendary coach like Kyle Shanahan is, I knew that he had potential to be able to take the team to the heights that it was taken to. You just needed the time and the right support for the whole entire thing. I am glad we actually have a defense to match up with the good offense as well. There's a lot of people that aren't so big on Jimmy G, but I, for one, am a semi-fan of his. The fact that yeah, I just wanted to it's a fact. I've been a Niners fan since I was 9 years old, and I will continue being a Niners fan for the rest of my life. And the fact is a lot of my family are Packer fans, so I'll be kind of saying "I told you so" type of speech when you guys go up against the Packers and win. I'll be that kind of guy that does that. And if you guys, and by chance, if you guys end up not doing as well as you have been these last few weeks, and you slip and fall for at least a game or two, and the rare chance comes that you do end up losing the game or two, I'll own up to it. But just like any other fandemonium, like a true fan like myself stays with the franchise that they're a fan of through good times, bad times, and all the in-between times that are endured for it. And I will always be doing that. So, and well, I guess I should admit that I'm a Chicago Bulls fan right now for basketball. And that sparks from the Michael Jordan days. But it still holds true to this day that I did not just jump on the bandwagon when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, John Paxson, Steve Kerr, Horace Grant, Scott Williams, and the rest of them. Luke Longley, can't forget him. Will Perdue, B.J. Armstrong. Yeah, you can't. There's plenty of others that I have not named off yet that were major help for Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, like Ron Harper, and so yeah. So yeah, just because they're no longer on the team doesn't mean that I'm gonna hop off the train per se and hop on another train that is doing good. No, I'm not that kind of fan. I'll have respect for other teams like Golden State. I have respect for, and I do kind of still cheer them on type of deal because of Steve Kerr there being the coach there. I kind of respect him for playing alongside, for being one of the players that have, or one of the people who have been a player that play alongside Michael Jordan during one of the three-peats that the Chicago Bulls went through. So I kind of like to see someone who was on one of my favorite teams succeed in pretty much any role that they do. My little puppy right here kind of distracting me. Alright, so anyways, I got some respect for Steph Curry because of how humble he is, and same with Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green can use some work, but he's a little humble himself as well. We'll see how D'Angelo Russell fares with everything. So far, it's been pretty decent. Another team I got respect for is the Spurs. Coach Popovich is a good coach, and so how he's been able to just take that team and be able to get into the playoffs every single year is amazing. Even without a superstar there, it's just amazing to just see someone like that. Who knows how long Pop has before he retires, but I just have a lot of respect for how he's able to run the team. And then there's a coach like Phil Jackson that does not coach anymore, he is actually hands down the best coach of all time. All right, you can say all you want about how you need the talent and all that stuff. Well, having the talent is only part of the equation. The other part is knowing how to use that talent to get what you want to achieve. All right. Before Phil Jackson was the coach of the Bulls, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and company were in there. But there wasn't any championship yet. Phil Jackson comes on the scene as a head coach. All of a sudden, you got 91 championship, 92 championship, 93 championship. All right. Michael leaves for about a year and a half, comes back, and then the year following his return, you got 96, 97, 98 championship. 6 and 8 years. Just like that. And if Michael hadn't left to go play baseball during the year and a half he did, I'm one of those that strongly believe that it would have been 8 of 8, and Houston would not have those 2 championships that they have in 94, 95. And then as far as Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal goes, you can argue all you want. Oh, he had the talent of Shaquille O'Neal, he had Kobe Bryant, he had Derek Fisher, and all that stuff. You know what? That team didn't do squat before they were coached by Phil Jackson. All right. The furthest they made it was maybe even to the playoffs, but they didn't do squat after that until Phil Jackson came and coached them. The first year that Phil Jackson came and coached Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal together, Los Angeles had a championship that year. All right. And it came pretty close to having 4 in 4 years instead of 3 in 4 years, but they still ended up the very first year that Phil Jackson ended up coaching the LA Lakers with Shaquille and Kobe and Fisher and any of the other players that were on the team there in that year. Championship. All right. And then you can argue about the Golden State Warriors being a super team and all that stuff before Steve Kerr came onto the scene. It may be that they acquired them before Steve Kerr came on the scene and started coaching them, but like I said, it takes the right kind of coach. The other part of the equation besides the players is the coach. All right, the person who knows how to use what they have to get to the goal that they have set for the team. All right, without that, the team ain't really going to be going anywhere, because if you don't know how to manage your talent, you can't do it. It takes a whole team to win a championship. It takes hardcore defense, hardcore, and at least average offense to be able to get some points on the board. That goes for any sport: basketball, football, baseball. If you have a hardcore defense to mix with at least average offense, you can succeed. And going back to my first point, the Niners, they have the talent on both sides of the ball. They have defense and offense both. It's not just average on both sides. And Richard Sherman, he's right. They had the talent. It just was it was just like basically untapped talent that just had to be realized before they could even do what they could, before they were able to get their very first, well, it's not their very first 5-0 start, but it's technically their second 5-0 start in franchise history, but it's their first one in, well, let's see, you got 1990 to 2000 is 10 years. Then you got another almost 20 years on top of that. Almost 30 years is what it took to get another 5-0 start. To the game. All right. Almost 30 years is what it took to get another 5-0 start from the last time the Niners had a 5-0 start. And I know sky's the limit with this team. I'm not sure how much longer they have before they get undefeated, before they're no longer undefeated anymore. But I, for one, hope it lasts as long as is possible. I'd love to see a 49ers team that's 16-0. I'd love to see that. And then go and then take that into the playoffs and even win a Super Bowl on the perfect record as well. I'd love to be able to see that day. Even if it doesn't happen this year, I'm still hoping that it does happen. And I don't care how good the Patriots are. I'm always going to be cheering against them. You might be trying to say something about how Belichick knows how to manage a team and all that stuff, but to be honest with you, I'm tired of seeing them in the Super Bowl right now. All right, win or lose, I'm tired of seeing them in there. All right, it's time to see somebody else there. So, I, for one, am always going to be cheering against the Patriots, no matter who is playing up against them. Even if the Raiders are playing up against the Patriots, I'm still going to be cheering against the Patriots because I want them to lose that much. I'm tired of seeing Tom Brady and Belichick and Kraft in the spotlight. They've been in the spotlight way too long. It's time to just hang it up and let someone else take the torch and go with it. It's time. It's time. This is... Alright, now before I hang up this conversation, a quick shout out to the people who are somewhat responsible for this session. Todd Henson, John Pearson, Jacob Peterson. Quick shout out and quick thank you for the encouragement for starting this whole thing. Quick shout out to Casey Tubbs, as I'm pretty sure you will be seeing this soon. Even though you weren't one of the originals, it was only Todd Henson, John Pearson, and Jacob Peterson who were there. To encourage this Mr. JK segment. Right now, as it's under a working title now, instead of Facts with Mr. JK. I'm still trying to figure out what to call it, so just call it the Mr. JK segment right now. Yeah, anyways, think about putting the permanent name Mr. JK Presents, so then it covers all my bases with the Facts with Mr. JK, what will Mr. JK do next, or getting down with Mr. JK, you know, and Mr. JK's opinion, all that stuff. It basically covers everything. So anyways, also before I take off, I should have put this disclaimer at the beginning. This has been 100% unscripted. Everything that I've said has been from up here and not on any paper. I don't even have an outline of what I was going to be talking about, which is probably why it kind of sounds like rambling and all that. Excuse me. And so I just figure it's just best to have, if I have to do any kind of research, yeah, I do the research, but just kind of keep everything in my head. If you guys want to fact check me on certain things, you can. I'm fine with that. Place it in the comments. Yeah, I'm hoping to have a lot more stuff here soon, but as long as I have control over, complete control over it, I'm gonna keep it 100% unscripted as long as I can, and that's actually a fact. It is going to end up being staying 100% unscripted, and that is like that kind of goes for like guests and stuff like that as well. When I do end up having like guest hosts and stuff on this thing, it's 100% unscripted. That's the major part of it. And if you want to see what I'm looking at right now, here's what I'm looking at. See, no kind of computer screen or anything. It is 100% unscripted. That is pretty much the way I was looking when you saw me look up like I just did. Hopefully I'll have I'll be able to find my other part for my headset so I can start going on my computer again and doing the videos on the computer again, because I do end up I do miss the like mic and all that on my face, or I'll have to maybe just get a new headset and just keep track of all my equipment just to make sure that I'm able to get on the computer and all that stuff. So anyways, yeah, I just came on here to just kind of do a quick ramble of the 49ers and say how much of a Niner fan I am, how much I've been since the 1990s, and maybe even earlier than that. And just give a quick shout out to Richard Sherman and say I agree with you on if you've been saying that we're mediocre all this time, continue to say we're mediocre, type of thing. But I agree with that point 100%. Don't just be one that gets on the fan train because the team that you're getting on the fan train for is doing good. All right. Be a hardcore fan. All right. Be a true fan to the franchise. There's really no point of that. So without further ado, this is Mr. JK out. Peace.